to go back to my first, I guess, memory of like faith, I used to look out the window and I would pray and I would ask God, like, mind you, my mom ain't never told me, my grandma never told me about God, and not, but you heard of God, you know, that there's God there, right? You know what I mean? I asked God, like, I want to be the husband my mom deserves and the father I don't have, I never had. And I used to just pray that. You know what I mean? I didn't know what that meant. I used to just pray that. But again, I didn't know how to pray. So I'm going through getting kicked out of school, fighting with my mom. There's no idea of leaning on God or anything. And that was so far from anything in my mind. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's up, everybody? On this episode of the Out of the Water podcast, we speak with Harlem native Jules Webster. He talks about his tumultuous upbringing, his relationship with his mom, and choosing to follow Jesus in the midst of emotional pain, but finding hope with having a new faith family. We pray that this episode blesses you and touches you. I am super excited for our guest today. We've been trying to get this working for the last couple of months, but we finally got it. With all of your love, please give it up for my brother Jules Webster. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Good, man.
Thank you so much.
To be here.
Yeah, man, you made it. Thank you for coming on to the show. Man, we got so much to talk about. Let's jump straight into it, bro. I've had the pleasure to kind of see you in passing at Renaissance a lot. I've been able to see you in community with Karina, who we had on the show, with Bri. Yeah, I know, with Bri, who we'll eventually have on this show. So you have been a staple in our community. And I really just want to get to know your story more, but more importantly, so that people in our church can get to know your story and your testimony. So take us back. What have been things in your life that inform the man who you are today? Where you from?
From Harlem.
Yeah.
You know?
Uptown, H-Town, all day.
Lennox Ave, 133rd and Lennox.
Come on.
Fourth generation Harlemite.
Woo!
Yeah, so my great grandmother came up from South Carolina. Raised my grandma, and my grandma raised my mom, my aunt as well, and then had me, you know, so right here.
What was it like growing up in Harlem?
Let me pull it back. I feel like back in the day, if you were born in Harlem, it feels like the Lion King.
The pride land.
You know the part where they have Simba hanging off the edge out, everybody sees, everybody knows you're born. You know what I mean? And you were running outside, the entire community knows who you are.
Yeah.
Has its positives and its negatives. Everybody knows who you are. At the same time, if you get in trouble, that's how you're going to get a few whoopings before you get back home.
A few, not just one, a few.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like a family thing. I feel like in the summer times, it felt like every block was a block party. The music playing outside. You could just be outside. You know, where you live, each block, each building is like your own community. So we're family within a family.
Yeah.
Growing up, single parent household, mother did, the best she could with everything like that. Shout out to Leslie Webster, Esquire. You know what I mean? May she rest in peace.
Yeah.
Then, we're going to St. Aloysius. Got kicked out. Got kicked out for fighting. Then went to public school for a year. Then they were like, "Yo, your son wildin'." And then my mom was just like, what should I do? I remember my computer teacher was like, "Yo, send him to military school."
Wow.
And then I went up going to Waynesboro, Virginia.
Wow.
For the 8th grade. I wasn't even hooping yet then. I was just being bad. And it was funny because when I got home for Christmas break from my 8th grade year, a letter from my previous year from public school came and said yo, you have 97 or 90 something delinquencies or truancies, whatever it's called, right? How many days of school you miss? You know what I mean? So I was just wilding. So I went to military school that changed my life a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's more so for having father figures, not father figures, but men around. You know what I mean? Because all boy military school.
Yeah.
So went there.
What was it like being sent away to Virginia? Did you have culture shock?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like being from the city.
Oh,
Not
for
only like culture shock of
Yeah.
just like being in like public school to military school.
Yeah.
But like what was that experience like?
So growing up, like I said, growing up in a single parent household, me being like myself, growing up in Harlem, Lenox Ave, you think you all that, you think you tough, and you have a single, you know, you have your mother, single parent, trying to be a father, but can't teach you those things, nor once you get to a certain size, it's kind of like those dynamics shift, you know what I mean? And I could get more into our story in a little bit, but going to Virginia, you think you tough, going to military school. So I remember like it was yesterday, like I go there, I'm already late. You know, these kids were already there since like 8 a.m. or whatever. I'm getting in like 1, 2 p.m. My flight got delayed. My mom, she's not even with me. I just from like, you know, I'm flying by myself. And so I get out the cab and I'm getting to this campus and I'm seeing all these kids with these yellow shirts and maroon shorts. And then this sergeant just comes straight up to me and was like, drop down, give me some. And I'm just like, what? And I'm talking back like, who you think?
Yeah.
And they literally take me by my shirt, roof, throw me down, like drop down. And I'm looking up like, oh, this is
real.
This is real.
And you in the 8th grade.
8th grade. Like, this is real.
That's
like,
scary for
you know
8th
what
grade.
I mean? Like, yeah, but like this is, this is like the closest to scared straight. I feel like
Shout out to Scared Straight.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'm gonna get. So but it was my greatest blessing. One of my greatest blessings too, to put me in that environment and really figure out like who I am. And I remember, so the reason why everybody had on the yellow shirts and maroon pants was because they have something like their basic training. It's called like rat status. And it's a 6-week process where they give you a book. You have to read the book and it's basically your basic rules that you have. Certain rules are you only allowed to walk counterclockwise on the campus. So, and it's a quad, you know, so it's, you know, those quad is, whole thing is a campus. And if you go into your class and if you miss the door to your class, you have to walk around the entire campus
What was
again.
the reasoning for that?
It's for discipline and just like, just how it is, like, you know what I mean, for at the military school and whatnot. So that's the first time I even got the inkling that I could be a leader. Or at least like, you know, at least somewhat of a leader amongst my peers. Yeah. Because at the end you have a process that's called like the Mud Hill. And it's like a graduating ceremony or whatnot. You completed your rat status, you go through the PT, and then there's this huge mud hill. You like your whole entire class has to, you know, go up and whatnot. And then I remember we had one of my rat classmates. He was struggling. I remember his name like, you know, you don't remember too many people. I remember his name was Adams. And just overweight brother, you know what I mean? He was struggling throughout it. And then I just remember something in me was just like, no, go back and get him. So I'm already completed. I literally go back down the hill and I just like grab him by his arm, like, come on, we're getting through this together. And it was one of those things where the other master sergeants and, you know, the commandants and everything, saw and was just like, okay, that's a quality trait. Okay, he has potential. And that's when I started getting into basketball as well. Lost my weight. I was overweight too as a kid. It was a prep player because they had a really good team, by coincidence. And there was this prep player from Russia and he pulled me to the side and he was just like, you too big, you know, come on. Like, you know, we're gonna play basketball. And he taught me like how to shoot and stuff. And then I came back the next year, basically got like all conference as well on like JV and stuff, and then took the team. I was also good enough to play both JV and varsity, one of those situations.
Baller.
Yeah, 9th grade. And then that's when I was really contemplating on this week, because I remember my mom, I wanted to stay. You know, I wanted to finish school there. And then I remember my mother telling me she wanted me to come back. My entire life, really until this week, I kind of like didn't understand the tonality or really the hidden message in her telling me she wanted me to come back. It was like she wanted me to come back because she missed me. But it was more so like I didn't understand how much she was struggling. And and because my mom dealt with addiction her entire life.
Wow.
9 to 5, heck of a lawyer, like Claire Huxtable, like as beautiful as Claire too, if not more beautiful. You know what I mean? And but then after work, she was like a different person.
Okay.
So with me coming home, I think she needed something like a purpose, you know, or something. And at that age, I just didn't understand enough to help, you know, try my best to help her instead of like combat her, you know what I mean? So, and that's what we used to fight a lot as well. So went back home for a year. That was bad because when I came back home, I got in trouble. Me and her had a really bad fight, ended up going to juvie. Within that situation.
Yeah.
And then, but God had me with that as well because I ended up leaving juvie with a scholarship to Rice High School.
Wow.
Because one of the night guards was one of the basketball coaches. For whatever powers they be, I guess whatever conversations they had with my family, my mom, and they weren't comfortable with me going to Rice, supposedly. So I ended up going to LaSalle.
Okay.
Played varsity at LaSalle. Got into trouble there too. Got into a fight, pretty bad fight. So again, my mom, God rest her soul, whatnot, after work, she would indulge, like she would drink. One of those, and a lot of those nights is one of the reasons why it was great for me to go to military school, go to prep school, because I wasn't in that environment. A lot of the nights when she would come home, her, you know, she angry or whatever she was angry at, we'll argue. And her arguing is coming into my room, yelling, slamming the door, back, vice versa, me yelling back, like trying to argue back as best as I can, like, you know, like just responding. And a lot of those nights will happen, like it will go until the sun comes up. So this was one of those nights where it's like I'm yelling literally until the sun is now rising, but I have to get up and go to school.
Yeah.
So I'm going to school and I'm tired. I'm like, you know, I'm dragging. I'm in homeroom, and for some reason, this kid, I walk in the first door, and he's like stepping to me on some got beef with me. I'm like, I don't like. We in the same class. I don't know what. I was like, not today.
I'm from homeroom, bro. Like, what are we doing?
I'm not today. So then I go to you know how this is back when schools had the 2 doors you could kind of go into. So I go in through the back door. He meets me in the back door.
Oh.
And then I'm like on some, you know what? I know this isn't a big deal, but I'm so pissed off about last night. I'm so upset about, I'm putting my anger out on you.
Yeah.
Poor kid didn't have a chance. The school was just like, we're going to kick him out. And then my mom, like, I guess, you know, her lawyer was just on some, well, where was the teacher at to stop the kid from approaching my son? Like, you know, that type of thing. So they were on some, we'll let him finish the year, but he can't come back. To me, it was like, great, this is my opportunity. I could go back to military school. You know, I want to go back to Virginia. Like, I just want to go back. Like, you know what I mean? Try to finish.
Yeah.
I go back. It was funny because the school got actually really good. I was pissed. I kind of came back to New York. The school got really good and had Oak Hill Academy, which was the #1 school in the country, on the schedule.
Oak Hill.
So for me, I was like, if I play well against them, you know, that's my ticket. I get to the school. I guess they have some, I get back to military school. Whatever politics that happened, they fire the coach. All the players leave. Just me and then the point guard stay, you know what I'm saying, is there. And then
the squad was gone.
Yeah, squad was gone. Oak Hill realizes they not on the schedule no more. So it's kind of a wash year. So within that, I'm messing up now because I'm not taking my year seriously. I start to hustle on campus. And I have like this whole operation going on where I have the staff members on payroll and everything.
You like Tariq from Power.
And like I even get some of my friends from Harlem. So I got one of my friends from Harlem to come to school on a scholarship and everything, and he's helping me also hustle and everything. And then I get caught with that, get kicked out. And that was like kind of like yeah, that was like one of the big blows.
Man, so man, it really seems like in your youth you had such a roller coaster of a tumultuous back and forth from Harlem to military school, different schools and all of that. Like, did faith at all play a part in like your
Nah,
youth?
that wasn't at all in my family. Like none of that. Like, you know what I mean? For me, I don't have any memory of my mom praying or mentioning God for real. But I do remember, and I don't even know where this came from. I think it just was in me as a kid. I just remember me looking out my window, just seeing how much pain my mom was in. The nights where she was clearly under the influence, but not yelling at me. I could just hear her crying or arguing with herself or just in pain. And my dad also not being there, me being pissed off about that. I could rewind. I was 7 years old where I remember I was asking for my dad a lot. This is exactly where it came from. I was asking for my dad. You know, you get ready for school in the morning, you know, the routine, my mom getting ready. I would ask to call him, you know what I mean? And one of the times he did answer, I asked him, I was like, yo, when can next time I see you? And then he was like, you know, the next sunny day, the next nice day it is or whatnot, I'll come through. And I used to watch Good Morning America every morning and look at the weather, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
And look at the weather and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, said my mom's joint. I remember one of the days was there, I guess it agreed, he agreed to come. And with my building, there's a doorman. So my mom had to go to work. She left me in the lobby with the doorman. He's supposed to be coming, and he never came.
Wow.
And so one of the, you know, one of my aunts, one of my godmothers in the building was seeing me downstairs. She took me up, you know, fed me something. And I was so pissed, you know, and I was like mad angry. I was real angry about that. And I remember, to go back to my first, I guess, memory of like faith, I used to look out the window and I would pray and I would ask God, like, mind you, my mom ain't never told me, my grandma never told me about God, and but you heard of God, you know, that there's God there, right? You know what I mean? I ask God, like, I want to be the husband my mom deserves and the father I don't have, I never had. And I used to just pray that. You know what I mean? I didn't know what that meant. I used to just pray that. But again, I didn't know how to pray. So I'm going through getting kicked out of school, fighting with my mom. There's no idea of leaning on God or and that was so far from anything in my mind.
Bro, man, first I just want to say, man, thank you so much, like, for sharing this. I just first want to hold space and acknowledge the pain of the absence of a man in your life. You know, I say all the time that we experience in this world, on this earth, so many things that we deem regular that's actually not normal. You know what I mean? Like, pain is so like prevalent in how we operate in this plane on this earth that it was never intended. That was never God's design, right? So it was never God's design. Fatherlessness was never God's design. You know, God's design was that a man would be in the home to shepherd, love his wife and his children. So to hear like the pain of an absence, the pain of like the nuanced, complicated feelings of loving a mother who was there for you, but also dealing with her own functioning addictions. And then you having to navigate that as a child is something you should have never been through, bro. You know what I mean? So I just want to hold space for that. And also say, man, I'm curious. You know, I think the Bible talks about how like the law of God is like written on our hearts. And in a way, you like inherently knew that there was something beyond here to give you some type of hope, to ask God, you know what I mean, for guidance and wisdom at that young an age. And so when did you start to experience, like when did faith become a part of like your life and your journey?
I want to say, I think I went to, when I lived in Atlanta for a year.
Okay.
I went to church once and I was like, okay, I'm not sure like of the church name, but I remember the pastor, I like just had one of those sermons. I was like, oh, I kind of connect with this. You know,
Do you remember what the sermon was about?
It was about relationships and communicating men and women, how they should communicate within a relationship and understanding how each one's like thought process. But yeah, that was the first sign of faith. And I want to say the real testament of it was when I moved back the next year, and when my mom had a stroke. That was the real start of, I want to feel like, my faith, my walk with God. You know, my grandma passed away, and we still fighting. You know what I mean? She's grieving her mother's loss. You know, her mom lost, and then but we still like kind of going at it, like how we going at it. Like we just come to the agreement, like we love each other, we just can't live with live near each other. Like we need that distance. Okay, cool. So then lose my job. My ex, who lived in Atlanta at the time, that I was supposed to move and move up to me, we break up. So that was 2 weeks. So lose my job, 2 weeks after that, lose my girl. 2 weeks after that, I get a call, my dad passed away. And then that sucked, because I'm sitting here like, I wanted to get to a point where I'm like, I got some money, I got a job, I want to have a conversation with him, man to man, to figure this whole thing out. Now I realize I'm never having that conversation, right? I never really get invited to the funeral or anything like that, so it's kind of just like, all right. But then 2 weeks after, I remember it kept happening, 2 weeks. 2 weeks after my father passed, my mother has a stroke. And then not only does she not have a stroke, I remember she called me on the phone, like she's in the doctor's office, and I'm like, what's wrong? She sounded like she got like she's chewing on something, right? And it's just like, no, half her body's paralyzed. She can't move half her mouth.
Wow.
So I remember I'm running down Lenox, and this is when the doctor's office was in the lobby of the building.
Yeah.
Run to the doctor, and I remember seeing her just like scared, like everything that we ever been through, every fight, everything was just like, I'm scared. I need your help. Like, you know what I mean? Like out the window, and I'm just trying to be like, go into this mindset of protecting her and being there for her. So we take her to the hospital. They do the test and everything, find like an aneurysm, well, what they call an aneurysm, and they want to do a surgery. So I'm sitting here just looking at myself like, I'm nowhere near the man I want to be. I just got let go of my job a while ago. I'm on unemployment. I can't pay for anything that she needs. There's no way I'm in a position to help my mom. It's the most helpless I've ever felt in my entire life. But I remember me looking out the window, and I'm just like praying to God, just like, yo, you can, and this is a funny thing, I was like, you can take anything from me. I was like, you could take my arm. And that's when I had waves, and I said, God, you take my hair. See what happens? Look, you took it. But I remember praying, like, I'll trade you anything. I'll trade you anything if I could just, like, if we could, like, help her, please. You know, and I was like, nah. And I remember me going downstairs to get her, like, some food, because she didn't like the hospital food and stuff like that. And the security guard stops me, and he's just like, yo, is that your mother upstairs who had the stroke? And I'm just like, yeah. No, this is just the hospital police that's downstairs in the lobby. He's not on the floor my mother's on. We went in through the ER way. She didn't walk through the front door, so it's not like he saw her. Like, how do you know? Like, to this day, I'm like, how did you know to stop me? And he sits there and he tells me, my mom had a stroke as well. Get her a can of soda, her favorite can of soda, and just have her grab the soda, like from the table, and then have her like grab it, then have her like drink. Like, he's giving me step by step on what to do. And so I went, I'm like, oh, so that's all I had. You know, that's the only information I had. So next thing you know, she started working. Then next thing you know, she goes from grabbing the soda. One time I made her laugh. I remember I saw her mouth twitch. It started moving. So I'm in there now. I'm shucking and jiving in the hospital room, right? Like, I'm being the goofiest person I could be, like spending time having her laugh. they want her to walk at these certain hours. Nah, we double timing this. We doing more walks. She's down with it. Like, you know what I mean? 10 days later, like around 10 days later or so, like 15, you know what I mean? We walking out the hospital, yeah.
Wow. I really resonate with the story. Similar thing happened to my grandmother.
Yeah.
My grandmother had a brain aneurysm in the bathroom. And her home attendant, her nurse who had to live with her, found her, but wasn't strong enough to pick her up. So I picked her up, and she started having a stroke. So my grandmother had a stroke in my arms, and she ended up passing. But my last memory of her, she couldn't speak English. She spoke Haitian Creole. When the EMT came to get her, they were trying to see if she would be responsive. And they asked her, can you ask her to smile? And so they told her in Haitian Creole, can you smile? And I remember she cracked one smile, but only half of her face could do it. And that was the last image I saw before like the elevator doors closed. And I just remember being like, yo, that was like the most painful yet beautiful thing I've experienced. And then a couple hours later, she like passed in the hospital. And I remember, the helplessness. I mean, I was 19 then. That happened in 2009. I remember this feeling of helplessness. And a feeling of helplessness always births a type of like desperation. And a type of desperation always like births an initial like ask of God. And then from desperation, it randomly moves to this place of dedication. God, if you do this, man, I'll follow you. You know what I mean? If you do this, I'll know you're real. And then from dedication, it moves to a place of like devotion, where like now your heart is in it. And so, man, like with all of the things that you went through, I would love to hear about how you got to Renaissance, and to, I guess, hear about your experience, about the decision to say like, man, I'm a part of this new faith community. I've gone through all of this pain, like this turmoil where you're crushed on every side and emotionally broken, but like needing God. How did that bring you to Renaissance? And then how did that bring you to the decision to get baptized in light of what happened to your mom?
Yeah, so that's probably a 10-year process.
Yeah.
Real talk. Like, so after that, like, when we leave the hospital, right? And my mom, we leave the hospital. She wants to go straight to her office to see, like, she's like, take me to work to see if she still got it, type of thing. So then she goes, and it's like a walk. It's a little walk. So she walks by herself. She comes back into the car straight from the hospital. She's like, yeah, I still got it. Right? And then, and then we start having a relationship where it's like, okay, life is short. We're going to start building together. So that starts to build. I get a job at a tech company or whatnot. Something in me was just like, nah, it's cool. Money's good. But then I get a job for an interview in Harlem when I put my resume in months ago. And that's at the Harlem Business Alliance. And so and then I take almost half the money to go work at the Harlem Business Alliance. And I'm closer to home. It's cool, right? That's where I met Aswan.
Wow.
I have Young Life. And then about a little while later, I meet Jordan and Jessica and everybody. And that's when Renaissance Church is there. They're like, yo, we just, playing at this church. We about to start having service at the school. You should come through. I'm like, all right. You seem cool enough.
Yeah, y'all seem all right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all right. So then I go, and it's kind of similar to like how it is now with the people. It's such a mix. You know what I mean? And being a Harlemite, it's like we kind of like
we gotta
like,
figure you out.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really from here. I moved here, especially with gentrification. Like, that's always a thing. Like,
foreigners.
Yeah, like it's cool, but y'all seem like it's dang. Like, all y'all this. Okay, like, you know what I mean? I'll go back to the block. Hey, yo, this is church. Like, they're pretty cool, yo. Like, so I just started going.
So you felt safe.
Yeah, it felt, you know what I mean? And then But within all of that, I'm still like leaning on my own understanding. You know, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out a little bit. I'm just going. I'm sitting with
Double
the fellas. Yeah, I remember like the fellas used to sit like on the front right side. You know what I mean? Like, but not the front, like kind of like those three.
Yeah,
like,
first 3 rows.
Yeah, kind of like on
we
the
can't
side.
be too engaged, but we're gonna be
present. Yeah, and then we used to go, and I used to just dip. You know what I mean? And then through all of that, my mom had a few years later, mom had cancer. Go through that process and all of that, where she's literally dying in my arms, and I asked God, I was like, yo, I know my time is limited. Like, I'm literally like looking at God while she's in my arms. I'm like, yo, I know my time is limited, but not like this. I can't. I literally every fiber in me is like, I know you think I can't. I know you built me. You're not gonna like bring this to my doorstep if I'm not. But I just not right now. And I just feel like you know, God was like, I'll give you some more time. And she came right to. She came like right to, like, and she woke back up, and I was enough for just to get her to the hospital, to the ER, and learned a few more things about her blood levels and stuff.
Yeah.
And then to fast forward was like the second time where I found her on the floor, and then and that's when I knew. It was another prayer. I was like, okay, I understand. Let me just get her until she's comfortable, you know what I mean, type of thing. And then I know Jordan was there with me. I know I went over to his crib, we talked, everything cool. And that was like, I think, a lot more intentional time going to church after she transitioned, because I really felt like selfishly those prayers was like a hotline to her. You know what I mean? I'll be in there meditating and stuff like that. Like right before, we do communion, stay sitters, used to pray. I used to think like, in my mind, I feel like I could speak to her during that time and whatnot. And then I went through my own, you know, the grieving process with that. And then some years went by where I was at my lowest. Like gas ran out. Can't do it on my own no more. I found myself indulging, you know what I mean, liquor, smoking, all that stuff, isolating myself from everybody, just pain got too much, you know. I'm not sure if I read it in the book or I heard it somewhere, but it was just like a lot. It said something about we see somebody and we tie our purpose into their problems or their pain.
Yeah.
And then when my mom transitioned, my purpose went with her.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like kind of roaming this earth like, what is anything else for? It's not to make her happy. It's not to do anything. Like I low-key even wanted a family to make her happy. You know what I'm saying? Everything was just tied into her. And it was the first time where it's like I have to like build my own foundation and whatnot. And at least I understand that now. Within the loss, helped me build a foundation for self. You know,
man, you know, we actually said it in one of the episodes where there's this kind of like phrase that it's like well-meaning, but like unbiblical. There's the phrase is, man, God won't give you more than you can handle. But really, man, when you look all throughout the scriptures, God all the time is giving believers a lot that they can't handle. And he does that because it's an opportunity to make himself be known.
Facts.
And I feel like, woo, I'm getting emotional, bro, just thinking about this. I see, bro, in your life, these things that you thought would crush you was a mechanism for God to bring you close. And as he brought you close, as you were in this 10-year journey in this new church with these cool people who, you know me, who are present, you know, with you both in your suffering and your joys and your grief, you decide to like make this decision like, man, I want to pledge allegiance to this God. I want to make my faith be known publicly. What brought you to that decision to get baptized? And what was that like getting baptized?
Yeah, it was like like the darkest moment when I was like in my house, like I said, indulging, smoking, isolating myself, like not having no purpose. I feel like having purpose in life and whatnot. A lot of like suicide ideation as well, to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
And I just remember going to church. It was like towards the holiday times, and they had a baptism.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, you know, like in the cut. That's when I used to sit on the left side in the middle, like towards the wall, because there's some leg room over there.
Yeah.
I could stretch one of my legs out. And then it was just on some, they was like, you know, you give you the option to come get baptized. And I was just like, everything in me said go, and I just didn't go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was just on my mind. It just stayed on my mind. And it was just one of those things where it's just like, everything that you're doing right now is not working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I like dove a little bit more into it to see like what it means and whatnot. And
You took the class.
took the class.
Yeah.
For one, I signed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like my Christmas gift to myself, because I think I did it like either on Christmas or like either day before or after, like around the Christmas time. So I was like, let me just fill this in, let me commit to this, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that in itself was big, to put your name in the hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give the info to the, make it public a little bit, right? Let y'all know I'm interested in it. And then during that time, I also did the membership class as well, diving into that. Then also to figure out like, what does the baptism really mean and what to expect. And it kind of like debunks some of the beliefs you might have of it. And it's I remember one of the main things is like, it's not some magical thing that like comes up, you know what I mean? It's more so a public declaration that you are of your commitment to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? And also, so after, you know, you went through this, go through the baptism class, speak with Lester, and you have to like write your testimony down. Yo, right, trying to put that down on paper, yo, I don't even understand why it was so heavy, you know what I mean? But I got it done like literally in the final hours. Like I think Lester put a due date for like day. I think I did it like
day of
or the day after. You know what I mean? Like I just like on some kind of sabotage myself. Like on some, well, here it is. If you use it, you don't. You know what I'm saying? And then he wrote back and was like, "Nah, this was a good one. We gonna use it." I'm like, oh, okay.
I had the privilege of Bri recorded your baptism, you know, because I wasn't a part of Renaissance at the time. And man, it was beautiful. It was so, I mean, the testimony was beautiful. It was so moving. But man, this is why it's such a necessity for people to write that testimony. It is important for people to say out loud what has happened to them. You know what I mean? Like what has happened, what has transpired. You know, we always say that baptism is this it's a public declaration of an inward transformation. And there is something about people hearing about the inward transformation. So there was a reason why God was pulling on your heart during that holiday season when you watched the baptism, because what it did is I believe you recognized that transformation. Like, oh, I believe something like that has happened to me as well. And yeah, that testimony part is so important. Even if we don't share everyone's, we ask everyone to do it, because I think saying it, I think it does two things. Saying it out loud and writing it out, I think gives clarity about what God has done to you, for you. And then for some people, it actually brings clarity like, yo, I actually don't know if this is the decision that I should be making right now. I think I might need to like wait, spend some more time in the community. I'll just put this and commit this to prayer. And then we also see that a lot of times people sign up for baptism and the next baptism celebration that happens, they don't partake in it because they're like, I need a little bit more time. But then it's always beautiful when like 2 quarters pass and you see someone who had signed up maybe like 9 months before that. And I've only been at the church 9 months, but when I first got here, I got to see someone get baptized who had signed up like almost a year before that. And them to actually walk them through that whole process is so beautiful and it's so powerful. So the day of the baptism, your testimony is read. Like, what did that feel like, bro? Like having that experience, having your community, your newfound family, as you say, being there, celebrating you. What was that like?
It was great to have them there. I'm not like used to that, like their enthusiasm, and stuff like that. Like, like
so lit,
a lot of the friends I hung out with before, it's just like I don't know. It was weird to have it celebrated like that, like the way they do. It's kind of like, oh, like it's a love, you know what I mean, that you're not used to. So it was great to have them there. And that also gave me a lot of the courage to be comfortable enough to share a story like that, because I don't keep it a buck. Like the back and forth, the arguments, the fighting with me and my moms is like one of the most things I regret in my life. Like I constantly like say sorry to her in a prayer almost every day. You know what I mean? That's one thing. I could go back and change anything in my life, like the way I argued with her, the things I said, like the cursing, all of that. Like it don't even matter. You know what I mean? If whatever, I could sit here and point a finger, or just as a son, it's just like one of the most dishonoring things in my life. You know, so that's something that's heavy on me to put our fights and stuff on paper and have it read out loud and just release it, not only like before people and like really just like to God as well. Like it was just like, okay, you know, you gonna still love me? Like you serious? Like you still gonna take me? You know what I mean? Like it was, it was one of those things.
Yeah, man, experiencing God's grace and mercy. You know, we always say that grace is getting something you don't deserve, and mercy is deserving something you don't get. And I think also what is like evidence of like Jesus being in your life is the Holy Spirit even giving you conviction now to look back in your life and seeing how you could have done things different. But to also know that Jesus died retroactively for all the sins you even did before you even knew him, which is like an image of his like goodness and his grace. So bro, like my last question for you is this. What would you say to a person who feels that tug on their heart, that God might be calling them to himself? Someone who might be on the fringes of going public with their faith, what encouragement would you offer to that person?
Take the leap and just take the leap. Listen to the whispers. You know, like at your time, but just take that leap. You know what I mean? Do something like, just take the leap. Take
the leap. Bro, I cannot thank you enough for your transparency, your authenticity. It has really moved me. I was fighting back tears the whole time. I'm probably gonna go to the crib tonight and I'm just gonna be in my pillow but no, man, like, because your story truly is a picture of the saving, merciful grace of God, bro. And I'm so glad that you are in our community. I'm so excited to get to know you more. I'm so excited to have gotten to know a lot of your story here. And I really hope that people see this and they'll be transformed by it, bro. So much love for you. I thank you, man. I thank you. Join us for another episode of Out of the Water. We love you. Peace.